Hey guys, it's me, audio version me. Just wanted to let you know that unfortunately, I'm not too sure why, but when I downloaded the video file off of Twitch, the first, we'll say, 10 seconds of the conversation when it starts, you can't hear. So you're just going to end up by magically popping into it. As we talk about how I used to do the intro in the good old college days. Just wanted to give you a heads up. You don't miss much. Okay, love you. Bye. That I just
It's
can't.
a part of your DNA at this
It
point. You
really
can't not
is.
do it. It can't not be a part of your instincts.
Like I did it for 2 years for Christ's sake, and like that's if I think of the podcast, it's exactly what happens every time. I think about Lib, Colin, and Ashley because Ashley was with us this whole time throughout the college years and stuff, and yeah, she was there.
Yeah.
She was the behind the scenes
Surprise.
person besides Ruth. She was like really behind the scenes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I hope everyone's well. This is it's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since we've had to be able to have any real content on the Twitch channel or even on the YouTube page. Things have gotten very hectic in a lot of our lives, and I will explain a bit of that in a while. Don't worry, we're gonna get there. But as you might have seen, also this is kind of fucked up for me because I think I got pushed down a notch, like in a different corner, because we have Ashley over here in my top right. If you guys haven't really connected the dots already, or haven't seen the announcement, I think in the Discord, Ashley and Will are now official cast slash crew members of the SSN podcast, or anything SSN really, on the entertainment side. So welcome, Ashley.
Yeah.
Will, I don't know if you're here in the chat, but hey, welcome, buddy. Ashley actually was able to cover for us on Thursday, right? Was it Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
Yeah, when she did a
Yep.
Dead by Daylight podcast, a game that she is obsessed with. I think it's safe to say obsessed with.
Prove
I
it.
just re-downloaded it. I just re-downloaded Dead by Daylight. I love Dead by Daylight.
There.
That
now
game's
now
fun
you
as
gotta
heck.
play with me. All right.
Is it
Oh,
cross
you just
platform?
signed your soul away. You can crossplay, yeah.
Oh, there is no excuse for you
Oh,
then.
sick.
There's no excuse, Lib.
Dude, I love like me and my friends. We used to just we would play the game periodically. Like we would stop playing for months and then come back and play it. So our rank would be reset to 20.
Yeah.
But we were all really good at the game, so we would get killers and we would make them DC in like 5 minutes. Like we would just gen rush 4 gens and they wouldn't get a single hit yet, and then they just quit. And I'm
Yeah, it's
like, man,
always
this is the best. I love
bully
it.
the killer into DCing. Yes.
Mhm.
So one of the things
Or
I've
just
realized,
being Michael Myers
yeah,
always slaps. Always slaps to
Oh,
be Mikey.
one of the things I realized watching Ashley play is that you're at like what, you're level 8 right now, level 9, level 8.
rank 8 right
Rank
now,
8,
I
okay.
believe.
So
Yeah.
rank 8 right now in Dead by Daylight. And it's to the point where people are playing within the meta of the game, which is no longer, oh, the killer's gonna kill and the survivors are gonna fucking do the jennies. No, it's like, oh, I'm gonna run in front of the killer, I'm gonna flash him in the face with my flashlight, I'm gonna dance in front of them, they're gonna chase me. And the killer's like, well, I'm gonna chase you because I need the points, because I need the, what I guess is called pipping up and de-pipping and all that shit. Which is like, oh, I'm not really playing the game anymore to kill you. I just need to gain experience. Da 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 da. And it's like this giant
Well,
rigmarole that I keep seeing.
it's interesting because it's one game where the faster you win, the worse it actually kind of is for your
Yeah.
experience. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're literally an absolute god and you're doing every generator while being chased and doing like I remember there was like you would consider like a perfect game in that game to be you never get seen by the killer, you get all the gens and you get out. But you don't get as much points if you're compared to somebody who's getting chased by the killer running around like crazy. Like I like
Right.
it because it encourages you to not just play campy and it encourages you to get out there and kind of interact with the killer more.
Mhm.
But it's also
Yeah.
like it is kind of funny. It's like you're in this survival game, and surviving is kind of second priority to having like styling on the killer, like swinging out
Right.
on.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times that I rage at the end of a game because I've survived and I did great, and I'm like, "I was so great," and then it's like, "Oh, but you didn't pip up," and I was like, "But I did generators and I left and I survived." It's like, "Yeah, but you didn't see the killer," and I was like, "Well, that's the point.
Yeah, I
I
I
did
survived.
it good then.
you."
God.
It's so funny because when we used to play, we had my one buddy Dan, who this dude was like,
Rest in peace.
he's not dead. uh, I'm trying to think about like a sports person that you guys would know. This guy
Wayne
was crafty.
Gretzky,
He
Michael
had the move.
Jordan. There's a plethora
They're
of.
not shifty though. I want to say like Jamal Crawford or something like that, but that's not going to translate.
Okay, Anderson
Anywho,
Silva.
he was shifty.
Anderson Silva.
Sure, Anderson Silva. Yeah, he was hard to pin down.
There you go.
So,
Well, technically, Anderson Silva was pretty easy to pin down. His wrestling was terrible.
Oh my god. Let me get through the story, Justin. Jesus.
I could see why I lived this
Anywho,
around.
he was really crafty. He would run around and dance around the killer. We would all do gens, and he would get 20,000 points, and none of us else would die.
Yeah.
But it was like fun. I still liked it. Like I didn't really care too much about like the leveling. It was more about just about playing the game. I'm like that with most games now, but no, it's fun. Like I'm kind of excited to get back into it. Which I'm also getting back into Rainbow Six too.
Oh, that's funny. There's been a big
Mm-hmm.
shift in Rainbow Six content within the community, where for a long time, before
Mhm.
Colin and Michael and you like started joining back in and stuff, pretty much the SSN Plays channel was just Siege. That's pretty much the only thing I played, with the occasional October being like the horror theme month. So like I play a bunch of horror games, which I always enjoyed, or I'm not as I'm a fan of Resident Evil. I've always been, especially Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorite games of all time because I've just realized that's a game that I've purchased over and over and over again. I just like playing it, even though like in modern day terms the controls are shitty and janky. The graphics are not good, but fuck, do I still enjoy playing that game?
It's just not that charred, man.
Yeah, it's got it. It's got that next gen feel for Resident Evil, right? That was the next big step in its like evolutionary vibes for horror, and then they ruined it with 5 and 6, but that's regardless. They will.
What are you talking about?
But where was I going with this? Oh my god. Oh, yeah, so the channel is just Siege. But recently within the last like 2 months ish, it's like heavily shifted towards Apex. Like Apex Legends has become one of the primary things that happens on this channel. Colin, that's like your game of choice when you stream over on twitch.tv/SSN Plays, or even on your own channel, twitch.tv/Colin Seaburns. It's still right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Like it's also Tom plays it, Will plays it, Michael now plays it. The man who hates battle royales. Oh, they're all the same, and there's no strategy. And he picks the most, what I would argue, besides Fortnite, but Fortnite doesn't exist, the most hyperactive battle royale of all time, and be like, yeah, this is really tactical, and you're like, there's a lot of strategy behind this, and I'm like, you played Arma 2 and 3 in DayZ, but you wouldn't play PUBG with me, which is arguably out of all the battle royales, the most realistic one out of all of them. But you'll play the outer space guy with armored legs who can run real fast because he injects heroin into his body, or the evil doctor who commits genocide with his bombs, or a lady who's got a robot that fills you up full of morphine and then brings you back to life. You're okay with that? Sure, dude. Sure, bro. Sure.
I love that little guessing game at the end there. You had me a little lost with the morphine lady, and then you said robot brings you back to life, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's clicking in now. I think that it's just from, I don't know, Apex is just such an accessible game. Like when you really think about it, like when you think about like the gameplay, it's pretty simple. It's a battle royale, like it's really intuitive as far as the first person shooters go. The movement is really good. Like I find that's a huge thing for battle royales for me is movement. Like if I feel like I'm slow or I'm not able to do things or I like run up to a wall, like Apex is the game where it's like you can really do all those things. You can get around any problem. You can do all that. So I think accessibility and then also just in general inclusiveness. Like it genuinely, they bring in a lot of characters of different genders, ethnicities. What is the term?
Culture.
Like the LGBTQ community. Like it's accessible on multiple fronts there. So I mean, and it's also Respawn. Respawn's a good company. It's just it's not a, there's nothing to really complain about except for maybe some guns are overtuned. But like that's it. You look at some of the
Okay.
core issues in a lot
All
of other
right.
games and it goes way deeper than that.
You just open up a hornet's nest. So for those who this is usually I would say this is like a patch notes kind of discussion. That's the SSN patch notes that happens every Monday at 8 p.m. here on twitch.tv/SSN plays. But I would argue that all of us here play, except for Ashley, all of us here play Apex Legends, and Steph doesn't really. So it's usually me. It's kind of like a one-sided conversation. But I can bring this up right now. The L-Star is broken now with season 10.
Is it? I have
be-
not touched it because I hate that thing.
Oh, you'll love it now. It can get shoulder stocks. It can get energy mags, extended mags, and it can get barrel stabilizers. That goddamn weapon, which used to be a starter weapon, right? Like, you drop, there's an LSR with some energy ammo, you pick it up, and you can wipe the floor with usually anyone around you because it hits hard. It wasn't accurate, but it did enough damage with white shields that you can just kind of like, get them down.
Yeah.
I went into the testing range and I played with it a couple games last night with Will, Huey, and Tom. And it became this gun where like you pick it up, you get even blue stock on it, even white stock. You just sit there and it's a fucking laser beam on people. And they reduce the flare effect from the muzzle. So when the bullets fly out, you can actually see where they're going. And it's like, why? Why would you like? Don't get the vault. Get the L-Star now. You are good to go.
Shit, because that was why I never used it. It was inaccurate as fuck. I felt like I couldn't see what I was shooting. But if it's got the stock and a stabilizer and shit that's actually usable, the L-Star is going for it now.
And then the Prowler.
I'm gonna have to test it out then.
Prowler. So I think this was an issue that the Prowler had a long time ago, but people are just starting to realize it again. The Prowler at hipfire is a laser beam as well. So for those who don't remember, the Prowler used to be a on the ground weapon. It was an SMG that was burst fire, or if you got the select fire, you could turn it into full auto. Then it became an heirloom item in the care packages, and that had full auto, all the whole 9 yards. Now it just has a 3-round bursts, but it shoots fast, and you don't have to fucking ADS. You could shoot from the hip, and you melt people left and right with it as well. Like the Rampage LMG, it's slow. Put a fucking thermite charge in there, and it oh my,
yep,
it's nasty.
Also, the new guy, Seer.
Oh, he's broken.
I love him with a passion. He's broken, busted.
Oh,
his kit.
Yeah, everything about him.
He's got
right?
a heartbeat sensor. He's got a 30-second Bloodhound constant ping that he can throw.
That does damage.
He's got the thing that the burst like it. The thing is, I love him. In terms of like the actual characters that come in, this dude has had the most swag out of any of the characters that come in. Like this guy is
I do
awesome.
really like his voice. I really like his voice.
He is so cool. Bro, I heard one voice line. He's like, I forget what he said. He said something about like beauty is something that I appreciate, and he's like that and pinball. I love pinball, and I'm like, that is so cool. That is this dude is the coolest shit ever. Like, oh, I love his character. Yeah, he's busted. I know he's gonna get nerfed. I'm gonna play him until he gets nerfed, though. That's basically how I see it. Like,
how do you think they're gonna nerf him, though?
I think the cooldown's gonna get longer on his ult. They're probably gonna nerf the damage or take it away on his ability. Like, just casual nerfs. But you introduce every video game does this. Is that they put out the new character and the new character's broken. Dead by Daylight, the new killers are always all like, crazy insane unless you're Release Freddy. Release Freddy was absolute garbage, but we don't talk about Release Freddy.
Isn't he kind of like overpowered now, from what I've heard?
Now he's more balanced. He's way better now than what he used to be.
Ash has got something.
Go to the Dead by Daylight tag. Go ahead, Ash.
They had issues with not Nemesis, but the Trickster was awful. He's great now.
Oh, you mean your boy toy?
Freddy, yeah, my boy. Anyways, we're not getting into that.
Handsome.
I'm sorry. What's your command in your Twitch? Twitch.tv/AshleyMarsix. What's that command again?
Well, if it's the XXX command.
Yeah.
and it says Morimi Trickster, all right? Don't need to talk about it.
Colin, you gotta look up this dude. Look up the Trickster in Dead by Daylight. You'll understand.
He is the
because
embodiment.
I have no context. Here.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of like a Korean.
He's sexy Korean Joker.
Yeah, like a Korean K-pop star, and he's a psycho killer with like daggers and stuff.
What? Hello.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I understand it. I
Hello.
understand it.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the other part, he's a murderer. That's sexy.
That's
Yeah,
that's
murder's
fine.
always
You see-
sexy.
Fictional murderer.
Do you see how he throws those knives? Wonderful.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, if you've seen any memes about sexy Michael Myers, you would understand because there's a lot of sexy Michael Myers in Dead by Daylight. Like, well, just in general, I think sexy Michael Myers is actually just a thing that people like, but
Yeah, I mean,
no one's backing me up on this. This is a real thing. I'm telling you guys. Sexy Michael Myers is a
Why you
thing.
sit quiet on this? I don't understand.
I'm always
Because it's like,
uncomfortable
'cause
when
he's
I'm playing. And Michael Myers is in, and instead of his normal jumpsuit, they have him in the hospital gown, and then as he's running,
Oh,
you
you
just
can
see
see
his
his
underwear.
calves?
I'm like, can we not do this right now?
Wait, are you
Michael? We don't
serious?
need this.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a hospital gown
It's a
outfit. He's
hospital
got
gown.
underwear on though. It's
Yeah, it's black.
Okay. First of all, Lib, I wasn't gonna try to check what's happening underneath the gown, but thank you for notifying me of the results there.
well, I figured that's the first thing to ask is the ass cheeks out, but they're not, unfortunately.
Right, because that's what I was wondering. Like, how firm is the 60-year-old Michael Myers' ass
Well,
cheeks? That's what I've always
Dude,
wondered.
but look at him. The man's like 6'10", pure muscle. This man is a hunk. Like you can't deny it. Look at his build.
All right, so I get
Like,
it. You're,
he
look,
hits the
I get it.
gym.
You're a DILF. I understand. You are into DILFs. That's cool. That's all by you.
Oh, I'm not a DILF. Myers
But you're
is.
into DILFs. Wait,
There we go.
yes, my apologies. Have you guys seen the trailer, by the way,
Some-
for what is it called now? Halloween Kills, the sequel?
Oh, I have not
have
seen the
not.
trailer yet.
Is he sexy in it? Hold on.
I think I saw like
Look
half
at
the
this,
trailer. I take that back.
It's weird. So the trailer came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now.
Happened.
And it pretty much takes place immediately after the first one, which I always enjoy when they do those like right out, like hot off the presses. Here's what's happening. And they reveal too much? Yeah, it's hard to tell. I would say a little bit, but pretty
The
much.
thing that bothers me.
Yep.
Sorry. No, the thing that bothers me is that they've already announced a third movie.
Like it's
And I'm
Halloween
like-
Kills and like Halloween Ends or something like that. It's like something around those lines. Where like I think this
Alright,
is like
next
their
question.
proper way of finishing the Laurie Strode, Michael Myers story arc. I think that's the
Yeah.
idea. I hope
My
I
question,
hope
real quick,
yeah, what's up?
is just how much of Michael Myers is revealed, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you looking for ass cheeks? Are you waiting for him to
I'm
get
just
to a
wondering
gown?
if
That's what I was
I'm just
picking up.
wondering.
Dude, you're
I'm just asking in
such-
general.
You're such a DILF hunter. Like, holy shit, dude. You need to calm it down.
Please show me a little Michael Myers ass cheeks.
This
I'll
explains
done.
why you
I'll
kissed me
retire
that one
it.
time on stream. This makes a lot more sense now.
Wait, did I actually do that?
Do you not remember that?
No.
That
I
was like-
kissed you on stream.
Yeah, like I think that was like a year ago. Maybe no more than that. Like maybe 2 years ago, because we graduated 3 years ago, right? From Fancha now.
Got-
Yeah, so maybe
You
about
got that Michael Myers frame. That's what I'm interested in.
so it's the day that See, what happened was,
Ooh.
we had some we did the pads. I punched. You got scared, and then you just fucking went for it, and you fucking made out with me. It was disgusting. But unfortunately, I had to cut that out of the thing. All right, it couldn't make
What?
it.
That was my defense
Damn.
mechanism?
my.
Some people
Don't hurt
is
me.
fight or flight. I'm
Fight or flight or fuck. That's you. Yeah.
fight, flight, fight. Gotta make a move. One way or the
Yeah,
other.
yeah, your moves to pull down your trousers and bend over. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Bro, you don't want to see me in the octagon. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
Is that what you call your assholes, the octagon? You don't want to step into the octagon.
Oh.
He wants you to step into the octagon.
Oh, no, okay. Get away from this.
No,
We
this
need
is
to
good.
leave. Let's go back to Halloween.
Yeah, let's talk more
go
about
back to
Liv's
sexy
asshole. I
Michael
like
Myers.
this.
I mean, let's go back to normal Michael Myers.
But no. So pretty much, like they immediately show you how Michael gets out, which is always a little bit disappointing. But whatever.
He always does.
And then it's like Laurie Strode gathering up everyone in Haddonfield, whatever. Uh,
Haddonfield.
thank you, Haddonfield. And they're like, we are going on a massive fucking witch hunt to kill Michael Myers. And the director and writers, so Seth Rogen, the
Danny
dude
McBride
who's
back?
what?
Is Danny McBride back?
Danny McBride. I'm pretty sure he's writing this one as well. They all said that this one is going to be Michael Myers' highest kill count ever.
So she's gonna gather the town together, and then they're all gonna go die.
Yeah, pretty much, right? They're all gonna in
Apparently.
single line. He'll just sit there, slash, slash, slash.
Guys, someone shoot him! I only brought my knife. I'm gonna try and knife him.
No,
don't
it's a
do-
plot
he killed him.
twist. She's been working with him the entire time.
Oh, she is Michael Myers.
Yeah, isn't it weird that you've never seen Michael Myers and Laurie Strode in the same room together? Actually, yes, we have. No, that was just mirrors,
that's
bro,
like
and a
90% of the
projector.
movie.
It's just smoke and mirrors, you dumbass. God, how did Laurie Strode get 2 feet taller? Oh, they're called stilts, bro. Yeah, no.
Stilettos, come on.
That agile on stilts.
Well, really, are they really that agile? Because Michael Myers does walk pretty slowly. He's not really that agile.
Oh, that's why the stilts. I just thought he's like a big husky dude, and he gets tired fast. So he's like,
I'm learning more.
he doesn't want to overexert himself. He's got to do murdering. So
this is what I'm learning about Lib. He likes dilfs. He likes husky dilfs. He likes butt cheeks.
I never said that I like them. I just say I appreciate them. There's a difference.
Fair, very fair.
You can appreciate a nice looking dilf. That doesn't mean I'm interested in him. Maybe interested for him to fill a father figure in my life, but not.
Yeah, I think he wanted
not
to
a
fill something
sexy
else.
one.
Fill in your octagon.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is way off base.
Oh man. Lib, you're gonna want to check out Link Dump. Oh, hold on a second. I think our dear boy.
There better be sexy Michael Myers in here.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah,
What the
Magic Mike.
Oh boy, Magic
Oh,
Michael Halloween
Jesus.
XXL. That is disturbing to say the least. We're not gonna put that on.
Well, I'll give it a good watch after.
Yes, we all
In the
will. We
post-
It's
all
a
will.
good watch.
Yeah.
A good, long, intense watch.
Moist watch. Yeah.
Oh no.
Not good enough reason to use that word, man.
No, please.
So,
God,
yeah. Did you guys miss the podcast?
I don't
Not
know
even
why,
a little
but
bit.
yes.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it is kind of interesting to see what's happening within with the Halloween movie. The fact that they are saying that in the third one, it's the end is how they're kind of describing it. Do I honestly think they're gonna do it? No, I don't think Michael's gonna die unless both Laurie Strode and Michael die. That's the only way I see that actually ending in that franchise.
I hate to say it, but it's too damn easy to capitalize on horror characters. It is.
Oh,
And
100%.
it's unbelievable to think that any horror character is ever going to stay dead, because I 1000% believe, give a couple of years, we're going to get a new Friday the 13th. Like, these characters, they're iconic, but you just keep pumping them back through the system and people are going to watch them. Like, that's the shitty horror movies with recognizable characters make more money than characters. Like, it's a fact of the industry. And I watched I think it was the Hot Ones with Matt Damon, and they were talking about like the film industry and stuff. And
Yeah.
he was saying how with DVD sales out of the picture and everything going to streaming right away, like profits for movies are almost entirely based off of your revenue from what is it
the
called?
Digital release.
Box office.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to make. So if you're spending $50 million to make a movie, you have to make $50 million back to profit. So you gotta guarantee basically $50 million, and it's like a lot of times a lot of indie stuff, like they're very low budget. Like, they still try and get theater releases and stuff, but like you see less small movies now, because like I feel like every small movie right now is being produced by A24, which is
Yeah.
a bigger name. I like A24, but it's just the industry. Like, you got to be able to make the money back. You got to get people in theaters to see it, and it's even more important now. And it's harder to do that with unrecognizable characters or That's why you see produced by fucking Tarantino gets thrown on shit, produced by whatever, because that brings people into the theater. Like it's yeah, movies are an industry, and obviously industries have to make money, but it's like it's almost now so more that it's like a cash grab to get people in the theaters.
It's branding. Branding
Or like that's
sells
why
tickets.
Disney's charging fucking up the ass for premiere access movies and shit.
And it's
Like,
also
you know.
why Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney, which is an excellent segue. Lib, I'm very proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those
That's
who
what I
don't,
meant to do.
yeah, 100%. For those who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and post this into the link dump or and inside of chat, so you guys can take a look at it and read along if you want. But the basics of the story is, and this makes me laugh, after years of waiting to get her own film, a film that I believe, once again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, especially during the review, should have happened after Civil War to have had more of an impact. That's when this movie would have been really, really good. It was okay.
1000%.
It was okay, except for the Taskmaster.
I'm a big Taskmaster fan. Yeah, I'm a big Taskmaster fan. I wasn't, and I will say people will shit on the fact that they. Okay, spoiler alert. I don't care. It's been out for a while. People shit on the fact that Taskmaster is actually a woman in this movie. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
She has no personality. She's not an interesting character, and they like the thing that makes Taskmaster is that he's genetically born cool ability, and then they're just like, no, I put a microchip that gave her that. And it's like, it wasn't awful. I was just like, man, I really like Taskmaster. I wish it was different. That's just how I felt.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to the news.
Yeah,
gotta get my Taskmaster thoughts.
For people that don't know, Scarlett Johansson suing Disney over the Black Widow streaming release, because within her her contract that she has with Disney/Marvel Films, it was written that she gets a certain percentage of money back from the box office ticket sales. Right? A lot of actors do that. It's one of the reasons why Robert Downey Jr. became such a huge millionaire overnight with the success of Iron Man and all his other films that he's done with Marvel, is because in his contract he always gets a certain percentage back from whatever the box office is from the movies that feature him inside of it, which just in the Marvel universe for the longest time, MCU, was almost every single fucking movie had RDJ in it, so he made money off of that. Scarlett Johansson had the same deal with the Black Widow film, and she's suing Disney because she's saying that they purposefully did the streaming release and box office release at the same time, that premium access fee, knowing that it would cut her earnings by almost up to $50 million of total earnings, because it's not going strictly to the box office. They're using their online platform, a platform that at the time wasn't written into the contract for her to make money off the premiere access sales. Lib's gone. Lib's back.
Yeah.
As I was talking, I just looked over. I'm like, Liv is not here anymore. But yeah, it is. I don't know how. I don't know how.
Apparently, a big part of it was Scarlett approached Disney at one point and said, "Hey, okay, so I know you're not going to probably fully release this in theaters in case COVID is still a thing. Can we work out a deal so that I get part of the money that people are paying Disney Plus to like kind of make up for that for me?" And they refused. She was trying to work out a deal with Disney, but they were just kind of stonewalling her and saying, "Nope, we made the deal we made, and this is how we're doing it." And so she was completely shut out of everything.
I'm completely on ScarJo's side. Fuck you, Disney. Bring her money, bro. Bring her money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
corporations, big giant corporation gonna do that big giant corporation shit.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
They did the same shit with Sony. Remember, we were all pissed at Sony because of the Spider-Man thing, and then we realized that Sony was producing and paying for 99% of the movies, or paying for all of the movie, and then Disney was like, "Well, we want 50% of that," and they're like, "But we're paying for all of the movie," and they're like, "Well, we want more money." It's like, who would have thought like Colin said, who would have thought the big corporation that owns everything kind of sucks? Like, I hope she wins the lawsuit, gets her money, like, especially like after Disney literally slighted her for so long without giving her a movie. Like, it's weird,
right?
Bring her money.
I 100% agree. 100% agree
Hmm.
that this is something that is owed to her, especially like it's still. I know it's not a traditional box office sale, but it's still a premiere of a film that's coming out, and people are paying to go view it, unless they're going to wait until September or whenever October, whenever it becomes free on Disney Plus. That should be something that certain percentage should go towards Scarlett Johansson, especially considering that is probably one of the movies that will make them the most money on their platform right now for the premiere access. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I never like Luca would have been the other one if they would have done it because I like Pixar movies, but they gave that shit for free. I had no interest in
Luca
watching
was
the
awesome.
Mulan film, none at all.
No.
I only paid the premiere access one for Black Widow was because we had to review it for Snatum, and I didn't want to do Resident Evil that week. I needed a break from
Fair.
Resident Evil. Fuck, dude. We fucking watched Afterlife last week, or yeah, I think it was last week.
Why are you watching the Resident Evil movies? They're not good for you.
Because
They're, like,
people
proven to be
voted
bad
for
your
it.
health.
People like Ashley up here voted for us to watch the Resident Evil franchise. It was either that or we're gonna watch. We were supposed to watch like Street Fighter, the fucking Van Damme film.
Street Fighter, way
Okay,
better.
hold
Street
on,
Fighter's
hold on.
awful. I love it.
I voted for Street Fighter. I didn't
Okay, well
vote
then you're fine.
for
You're off the cuff.
Uh-oh.
But the rest of them,
Thank you.
skills.
I haven't done math since I was 17.
But you're a graphic designer. You need to count your pixels and inch counts or something. And we're back. We're live, by the way.
Oh,
Talking about math.
okay. I
Okay,
figured
cool.
it out. So you gotta flip
Yeah.
the second number and then multiply them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Lib, we're
So
back,
wait,
baby.
you were right.
Lib.
Hold on.
Lib. What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean? What do you
You're
mean?
right.
Hold.
Colin was right. It was 6/8. Good job, Colin. We're doing mathematics right now. I found a mathematics 8 book down here.
That looks old.
I did skip a year of math when I was in school, so I was doing that. I was doing grade 8 math in grade 7.
Wow, look at this boy over here.
You think
Goddamn.
you're so cool, bud? Well,
Yeah,
fucking newsflash.
Basic ass math
You are.
skills. Hell yeah.
hey,
Also-
you remembered how to do that. I did not.
I gotta answer.
Sorry.
I gotta answer a question in chat.
Mm.
Where Zach, while we were asking, is like, what was Michael's, body count, as in like how many people he's laid with, and I told him 1, because he sexually assaulted his niece.
Wait,
and,
what? Oh, he's not a dilf anymore.
I mean, he did have a kid. She gave birth to Michael's baby, so he is a dilf.
That's not okay, though. No,
No.
that's
Okay.
completely missing the point.
Look,
here.
I'm just technically he's a dilf. Okay, it's an
Which
unfortunate
movie
dilf.
is that in?
No,
Which movie is that
we're not disputing the D. We're disputing the F part of it. It's like
Yeah.
or the LF part of it. Like we don't want that anymore.
Like, are you
It'd
trying to figure
be
out which
dilf,
one it
but
is?
The F would be fight instead of fuck. It's like, Dad, I'd like to fight.
Yeah.
I'd fight Mike for that.
Yeah.
So it
You
wasn't.
bring your bitch ass over here.
It wasn't Michael's fault. The cult of the Black
what?
Thorn made him do
It
it.
wasn't Michael's fault.
He was a victim
still
as
did it.
well. It's
He
weird.
still did it.
It's
I'm
so-
sorry.
Stop
Hi.
defending Michael
Oh,
Myers, Justin. Jesus.
I'm not supporting him. I'm not.
You're defending him.
I
You
know.
are defending him.
No, I'm
You
just trying to
literally
get you to
have reason in
understand.
his defense.
You have to understand.
There is
The,
no
the
defense
Black
for it.
Thorn made him do it.
I don't care. I'm fighting Michael.
Oh, that's not
He's not sexy to me anymore.
Okay, hold on. I gotta
Lost all
remember
my damn respect.
which one
Alright.
is. I think it's the
Yeah.
curse. Yeah, it's the curse of Michael Myers. Where in that one, his niece that he's been trying to kill since Halloween 4, I believe. I think it's since Halloween 4. So the Return of Michael Myers, and then the Revenge of Michael Myers, and then it's him trying to find his niece and kill her. And then in the Curse of Michael Myers, there's like a weird time jump where it's like 10 years later, where the Black Thorn have like abducted her and Michael, and they're fulfilling some kind of evil prophecy where Michael, for the evil that's within Michael to live on forever, whatever, he has to bear a child, and he does so with his niece by the magics of the Black Thorn made him do it or something. And then at the end of the film,
Still way too sketchy.
don't get me
a
wrong.
fan.
Look, don't get me wrong. It's fucked up. And I have no clue why this was a plot point in a Halloween film, but it was. And then like at the end of the film or close to it, Michael decides that I just want to kill the baby, and then goes and like murders all the Blackthorn people. And then the movie ends with the gentleman who plays Loomis. He's a great actor. Oh my god, who plays Dr. Loomis? My brain! Who plays Dr. Loomis? Who plays Dr. Loomis? Donald Pleasance. At the end of the film, it's him going back into the hospital trying to confront Michael Myers, and then there's just a scream, and then the movie ends. Like, that's how it just ends. It ends with him going back
That's
going
weird.
back in, and all he hears,
Yeah.
ah! And then the movie ends. And after that, the Halloween franchise took a big break. Well, 3 years break. Because
Good.
then
I
they,
wonder why.
Take
then-
some self-reflection
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that shit.
and then they did
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So then they did Halloween H2O, which retconned Halloween 3 to 6, and kept Halloween 1 and 2 canon. So the stuff that I've talked about never happened. So Laurie Strode is still
Good.
Michael Myers' sister. Then there was a good film, and then they ruined it with Resurrection, where they kill Laurie Strode right off the bat in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And then after that, we have the Rob Zombie movies, which were even more fucked up, and had a demasked Michael in the second one a lot of the time, which I did not like. And now we have Halloween, which is just the 2018 one. Halloween Kills in 2021, and Halloween Ends in 2022. That is all of it. That is all of it. To go back to it, it's all of it.
Okay. Go off, I guess.
That's just it's
So
all
the
of it.
point of all of this is saying that Michael Myers isn't as sexy as we thought.
Well, no.
And-
That Michael Myers doesn't exist
No,
anymore
no,
because he
no.
got retconned out.
I don't care. That Michael Myers still existed at some point, so Michael Myers is immediately less sexy for you.
One of the timelines, one of his variants.
Yeah, one of
Hey,
his
yeah,
variants. All right.
Doc Brown can go back and change the future all he wants. It still existed in some timeline, you know.
All
And
right.
Doc Brown's sexy as hell.
Hey,
Sure.
like, I
All right.
mean,
Go off.
no, I don't know about that one. Like, you want to come back? I don't know about that one. He was a frail old man in the first one. I don't think I'd want to. No.
Well, he wasn't frail.
We're
He had
moving
some
on.
pep in his
He's a
step.
damn cowboy.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about Doc
We're
Brown
moving
like
on
that.
we're moving on from dilfs to gilfs here.
So would it be a Gadilf?
No,
Because
we're
it's a
not.
granddad.
A good.
Yeah, the guild.
Because a Gilf is usually a grandma. I'd like to fuck.
How
what if
would
it's
you know that?
G Pit.
Look, I watch a lot of.
Fine.
Grandparents. We'll just encompass both of them.
Ah, there we go.
G milfs and G pilfs. How about that? G milfs and G pilfs.
Pilf. What about just pilf?
don't know.
It's like a pop
Why,
I'd like
why
to-
are these the discussions we have on a return to the podcast? Why is this?
I don't know.
We had one legitimate conversation about the ScarJo thing, and before and after that it's Michael Myers doing some inappropriate things, and then before that, Lib wanting to do some inappropriate things to Michael Myers. Why is this who we are? Why are we these
I've
people?
changed.
You've
I've
changed.
grown past that phase.
You know what hasn't changed? Is South Park, because they've signed a new deal with what is it, Paramount or
Paramount.
or
Paramount Plus,
Viacom or whatever? Yeah, like the company that owns
Same
Paramount.
company. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, fucking Trey Parker and Matt Stone are going to be doing what is it, like up until season 30 now?
Yep, it is going to be, I think, 6 new seasons
Yep.
and 14 South Park movies up for
That-
the next few years.
That blows my mind. 14 movies that are going straight to Paramount Plus. That
Yep.
I can't imagine 14 South Park movies. They barely are able to do one.
Yeah, but now they're doing they feel comfortable with knowing like it's just for streaming, and basically what they're I think they may put a part of the statement was that they're doing these movies as part of arcs that would be too big for episodes. They would be like the weird off to the side like multi-story arcs that they
Okay.
didn't feel would fit into the main storyline of South Park, like with the main characters.
Yeah.
Basically they're doing like 14 spin-off movies about different characters, different like side characters of South Park.
So what it sounds
cool.
like to me is what they did with, what is it, Mr. Garrison, right? He's the one with the puppet, or used to have the hand puppet.
Yeah.
What they did with him when he became president, that would be
Yes.
something that you would see probably now in a South Park film. So now we could
Yes.
get like the Stan Marsh story as to why the room was so sticky when he said it was just ectoplasm everywhere. Now we can get to the nitty gritty of it
Randy,
all.
but yeah. It was ectoplasm. It's a spooky ghost.
It's ghost, ghost, oh, octopus, don't touch it, don't touch it. Yeah,
And the
that's
big part of the deal is that they're being given to do all this.
Yeah.
The two guys are being given, I think it's $900 million, something like that,
Yeah.
just shy of
Yeah,
$1
that's
billion
right.
dollars to fund the next bunch of seasons of South Park in these movies.
I mean, that's this is not a dig at them, but that's so much more money than they need, and I'm happy for them because they fucking hit the mother load. Like the last fucking 20 years of South Park meant nothing. This is what matters now. Like they can now I can guarantee it at this point they can officially say that South Park is now a $1 billion franchise. Like there's
what
no
el-
way around it.
What else is fun is that there was like an article that came out a little while ago that was like, oh yeah, they're looking to buy Casa Bonita. And I was like, but that 900 million, oh, they can do it now, and I
Yeah.
will be first in line to go to that place.
So Ashley, for those who may not
Yeah.
know, can you please explain the obsession with it and why they're looking at doing that?
There is an episode. Well, it's branched out past one episode, but there was an episode where uh who was it? It was Kyle. Kyle was going to go to Casa Bonita for his birthday, and Cartman's like, "Oh, I want to go," and he's like, "Oh, you're not invited," and so he freaks out. And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm inviting Butters. You're an asshole." So then Cartman does this huge plot to make Butters disappear so that he can get an invite to Casa Bonita. Everything pans out. They get to this restaurant, and right as they're in the parking lot, everything, comes to light. And then Cartman just dashes into the restaurant and he's like, I gotta do everything. And it's like, I'm gonna eat all these nachos. I'm gonna go down the slide. Look at this, all within like 30 seconds before they get him. And so after that, it just became this like constant thing of Casa Bonita, Casa Bonita. In the second video game from South Park, The Fractured But Whole, they have DLC that takes you to Casa Bonita, and you get to like do a whole side thing in there. It just like for whatever reason became this huge part of South Park,
Yeah.
which I'm sure when they made the episode, they had no intentions, but people just latched onto it and they're like, "Oh yeah, Casa Bonita," and it just became this huge thing, especially since there was a legitimate restaurant. And I think it's like not a chain, but there's like multiples
Yeah.
called Casa Bonita. So the moment the fans found out, they latched onto that. And we're like, we got to go to Casa Bonita now because it's in South Park, So
And then, if I'm not mistaken, the restaurant, because of COVID, was going to shut down. And now Matt Stone and Trey Parker are looking to actually buying the franchise of Casa Bonita to keep it open. That's
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane.
they were looking at buying it. I don't know if they did or went through with it, but I do remember reading things about saying that they were going to
yeah,
buy it.
but with their 900 million,
yeah,
okay, they
that's
can do that now.
yeah. I bet you they bought the franchise for like we'll say like $1 million, and now they're like, yeah, we hit it, we hit it big, boys. Casa Bonita's gonna survive. And then the restaurant sees the news about the 900 million. They're like, fuck, we could have got so much more money. God damn it. God, could you imagine? And yeah, Will and Chad put a good point. It's like it's the Szechuan sauce with Rick and Morty, right? It's
Yeah.
South Park's version of that, which
Yeah.
Except way better from the
Yes.
fans because the Szechuan shit that was annoying as fuck.
which
Oh,
is
that
also
was-
surprising. You would think that the offensive shit really would have come from South Park, right? Because that is such a crude and hurtful show, which always has a message in the end. Like there's always like a fucked up positive message usually at the end of every episode. But like the way that the characters act towards each other, like with Kyle and Cartman and all that, and how Butters is always being treated and whatnot, you would think this would be the one where the fan base might be a bit more hostile. But no, it's the big brain people from Rick and Morty, because you don't understand the humor. You have to be smart to understand how Pickle Rick really makes sense. Like fuck you, dude.
Well, yeah, it's because you get the audience, and for a while I didn't tell people I liked Rick and Morty because it was like, oh, now I'm gonna be associated with this bad toxic
Yeah.
group of people, and it was like it's because you have all these people that like mirror themselves as Rick and like, oh, I'm Rick, I'm so funny. I'm like, no, Rick's not a good guy. But
Yeah.
people are like, "No, I'm Rick," but they couldn't do that, I don't think, with, like, South Park, and if you do get the people, you get the people that are like, "I'm Randy Marsh," and I was like, "He's not a good
Yeah.
guy."
Right.
I feel like South Park used to go through that. There was a lot of people who used to make jokes and used to try and be like Cartman, but I feel
Oh,
like because
God.
the show's been on for so fucking long, like it's on season 20 something.
Yeah.
I feel like South Park has managed to move past that a bit.
Isn't
And
it?
I think they
Yeah.
got a lot like, they tackled these liberal issues, and so I think it detached them from the, you know, the toxic
Yeah.
crowd because of that,
Yeah.
because 'cause they're like, "I don't wanna watch that type of material," and you're like, "Alright, whatever, don't." Like, that's
It's
Well,
fine.
I think it's also just like it's perspective, right? Because I think that a lot of people now, more you get people that attach onto these characters, and then you get people saying, "Hey, don't attach onto these characters. They're like the point is that they suck." And then it starts to come to light. Now, like if you ask anybody who watches South Park what they think about Cartman, everyone agrees Cartman's an asshole. But it's like it's funny because everybody knows that asshole kid when you're a kid
Yeah.
who's like he's kind of a friend, but he's just a dick to everybody. And you're like, I don't know why we're friends with this guy, but we're like best friends.
Yeah.
Like it's it's fuck off. But
Yeah, we
it's the
all know
same
that
thing,
one kid
right?
is just a
Like,
bit of a dick and like feeds parents to his kid and chili and shit like that. Oh,
Oh my
but I
god.
mean, same thing happened with the
Yes.
fucking Joker. People started wanting to be the Joker and shit, and everybody's like,
God.
that's not the point. The
Yeah.
Joker's bad.
Right.
And
Right.
like
Yeah. Because
That the whole, "I want a relationship like Harley Quinn and the Joker."
now
No, you
that's the
don't.
worst.
ugh.
No.
You want
so
the
you
opposite
want
of
to be
that.
you want to be physically, mentally, emotionally abused by your lover to be thrown out to the side to then for them to kind of come back to you? Like, no, dude,
To be
you don't
fair though,
It's
understand.
just
DC
it's
DC
misunderstood, you don't
romanticized
understand
that a
it.
bit.
Yeah.
DC was
That was
romanticizing it a tiny bit in their
they
past, though.
were.
They like to highlight how they're kind of kooky and crazy, and then now they're more like, "Hey guys," because the thing is, when you look at any of their more modern storylines about Harley Quinn, like she has really interesting storylines about her being away from the Joker, her own character and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
very self-perspective on that relationship. But all the past stuff is like, "Oh, they're just a kooky, crazy couple that Joker hits her." It's like that's not kooky crazy. That's
Well, so
unhealthy. Like,
it's interesting, right?
Throws
So
her out of a window,
like
yeah.
the initial concept of Harley Quinn back
Mhm.
in because she was originally a Batman animated series creation.
Yeah.
That's how she was made. She was made through oh my god, it's not Tim Daly. I'm gonna feel bad because like Bruce Timm and quite a few other writers on there created Harley Quinn specifically for the show. She became so popular with her initial kooky like out there with her appearance, her voice, that she branched out to like a bunch of all the other multimedia stuff. And now, honestly, she like she eclipses Joker. I think a lot of people now, when they think of some of the rogues gallery for Batman or just villains in general or superheroes or anti-heroes in this case, yeah, it's Harley Quinn. She's like the poster child for DC now. It's not Superman, it's not Flash, it's not Batman. It is legitimately Harley Quinn, which is
I
interesting.
think that I think that when you think about Batman's villains, that she's less prominent because I think she's actually more prominent as her own character than she is as a member of Batman's villain. Because I think that a lot of times when you associate her with Batman's villains, it's very much like the Joker in her. But when you think about Harley Quinn just on her own, it's very much her own shit going on away from Batman.
Yeah.
Because really, when you think about it, they don't have a whole ton of beef between them individually. Like, Batman's always kind of been like, "Hey, like you're way better than being." He's kind of like the nice guy, like you don't deserve him, like
Yeah.
shit with the Joker. Like he's always been like you're better than this. Like you can, now she's very much like personal, like I don't have to be a hero, I don't have to be a villain, I'll be my own shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like I agree with you though completely though. She's one of like I think one of the best standout characters in DC. Um, but I think that with like the timelines in DC right now, like it's everything's just so fucked up in the comics. Like there's a billion
Yeah.
different timelines. Like I'm glad to see her getting a lot more recognition outside of the Joker, and I think that which this new Suicide Squad movie that I'm going to see today, actually,
Oh, nice.
I'm hoping that that's going to highlight that a lot more. And I really hope there isn't any lines about her and the Joker. I hope it's just her being, fun Harley Quinn and shit. Like that's what
From
I hope.
oh, sorry, go for it, Colin.
I feel like her popularity is kind of stemming from a couple reasons. One of them being kind of a backlash to a lot of the meta around the Joker right now, specifically about him being, an edgelord and Walking Phoenix depression, all the
Yeah.
memey shit about him, about that, and also Harley Quinn is a fantastic female power character. Like it's very girl power, and she's very, she's just a great character for a lot of people to look up to, and for a lot of women to look up to. So it's like that kind of combination is kind of bringing her up in popularity when
Plus,
compared to the Joker.
her and Poison Ivy are the best power couple in DC. Changed my
Well, like,
mind.
the,
Batman and Catwoman up there, but Poison Ivy.
No,
Harley
no,
Quinn.
not anymore, because Batman will go down with Catwoman, so it's all
wait,
Harley
that's
Quinn.
right.
Yeah, that's
Right,
fair. That's
right,
fair.
yeah.
What heroes do, Justin.
Well, sorry, but Zack Snyder's Batman, from the picture that he posted that one time, Zack
Yeah,
Snyder's
DC
Batman
was
does.
pissed at him about.
Yeah, that's funny.
Zach, stop doing that, Zach. And he's like, "Fuck you. I'll
Yeah.
do what I want. I'll make another Justice League. I don't need you."
I'll make another Snyder cut of the Justice League, and it's nothing but 4 hours of Batman going down on Catwoman.
Arguably too long, if you ask me. I don't care. I'm putting it in.
God, but it is honestly, like, she has her own cartoon now. That's been very successful. Like, it's gotten very like good reviews with the community and stuff, with the fans. It's funny as fuck. It pokes fun at people that, that normally you wouldn't really get a chance to. Like, even Jim Gordon gets like laughed at in the fucking show. It still has heart when like Joker kills Poison Ivy and stuff. Like, there's quite a bit of emotions in that show, and I really like that. And it
Got my
is
favorite Aquaman too.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's got like a dude bro Chad Aquaman. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Here's my thing now. Speaking about like a lot of the DC stuff, right? And we're gonna touch a little bit on the Suicide Squad, David Ayer and James Gunn. But do you feel like we are in need of a revamp Joker already? A Joker that is not a edgelord, that's not a depressed manic man who has broken in like mentally. Do you think
Bro,
that?
I kind of. Sorry.
I was just saying, like,
Continue.
do you think that we're gonna soon get a Joker that's gonna be more like animated series Joker? That maybe not as cartoony, but more around those lines, where like we're gonna get away from the seriousness, or is Joker
Bro,
now cemented in movies like that?
Give me Jack Nicholson Joker. I think that he is the perfect representation of kind of edgy darkness, but still goofy fun. Like when you like thinking about it, the last two Jokers we got were Walking Phoenix and
Jared Leto.
I guess it would have been Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Jared Leto. I'll go back. I'm going to skip him and go to Heath Ledger.
Mhm.
All interesting, really cool performances, but yes, very. They're not fun. They're not flamboyant like the Joker is. Like but the thing is, it's like at the same time, it's rooted in the Batman that you have too, because the animated series Batman, like, yeah, he was dark and brooding, but he was still fun, and he was like, he didn't break people's spines. He like, but you look at like what we're getting is Robert Pattinson Joker, who's looking like going to be the edgiest out of all of the recent Batman, and there's been a lot of edgy Batman recently. So like, I think that if we continue with Robert Pattinson, it's not the place for a fun Joker. I think that just leave the Joker out of that completely and just do all of these cool side characters like they're doing with Zodiac Killer Riddler, which I'm so excited for.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just like it's all about the place in, like, I think that the Suicide Squad, like, kind of the franchise, if they're establishing one with those characters, that's the perfect place for like a kookier Joker who's kind of like self-aware, who isn't like edgy and cool. He's just kind of like, and everyone's like, why are you like doing this shit? He's like, I'm just like bored, I just like,
so
kind of like that fun, crazy, but not.
So do you think they
not
could revamp
edgy.
Jared Leto Joker?
No,
that?
I think
Because he's
I
no, but I look, and
he's
I'm being
gone,
serious.
dude.
I know you're not a fan of the.
Zack Snyder did something cool with him, but I think that even him doing something cool with him is really edgy, and you can't go away from those two performances and then make them fun. Like, I don't think you can.
You can, in a sense, because let's take a look at this, right? So let's take a look at James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and only based off, none of us here have seen it yet. I'm watching it today as well. Probably once the podcast's done, I'll be watching it. I'm not gonna go to the theaters. I'm probably just gonna rent it on demand or whatever, so I can rewatch it again for the review tomorrow for Snatum on twitch.tv/SSN plays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm gonna rewatch it again to get a good view of it. But like, you look at Rick Flag. Rick Flag in the first Suicide Squad, right, the David Ayer version, super fucking serious, no nonsense dude, just fucking like the stereotypical stale bread, I'm a soldier, this is what a soldier does. Then you see him in the previews for this one, dude's cracking jokes, he's still serious, but it's kind of like a Captain America serious almost, with Joel
Yeah.
Kinnaman's portrayal, which, by the way, if no one's ever watched Altered Carbons on
Joel,
Netflix,
he's cool. He's
Oh
a
my
good actor.
Yeah.
He's
God,
good.
he's amazing in that fucking show. Oh, I love
Mhm.
seeing him in that. But anyways, seeing his portrayal in the trailers now for the Suicide Squad, I'm like, all right, maybe you can rewrite a character between like from one film to another and have it make sense. And I think it all depends on the director and the writer. And if some, like for in James Gunn's case, he's both. He is the director and the writer of this film, or at least co-wrote it. Yeah, and I think you can get away with it. I think it just depends.
I think I got why I think that
Okay.
it's not going to work.
Go for
I
it.
think that Joel Kinnaman, that's his name, right? That's
Yeah,
the Rick
that's
Flag.
Joel. Yeah. Robocop.
I think he's the self-awareness to kind of poke fun of the old version, all that. I don't know about Jared Leto as an actor, if he's going to be comfortable about making his character self-aware of the previous edginess, kind of fun. I don't, because he's like, it's Jared Leto's edgy as a person. He's a weird dude, and he takes himself very, very seriously.
Yeah, very method.
Think about taking Christian Bale and putting him into a Batman movie where he's supposed to be kind of a goofier, lighter Batman. He probably wouldn't want to do it because he's he's a funny dude. He can be Christian Bale, but he takes the character very serious, and he thought Joel Kinnaman probably didn't care too much about Rick Flag, but when they asked him to come back in a lighter, better movie with a better script, he was like, hell yeah, this sounds fun. I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jared Leto. He's gotten 2 chances to be edgy and cool with his Joker, to say, hey, let's strip away the tattoos, make you more fun, and go away from it, that he'd want to, or he'd put the right energy into it. I think it goes on the actor more so than, because I think James Gunn could do, he's a fantastic writer. I think that he could flip it around and make the Joker funny, make him an interesting
Violent and
character,
funny,
but it's all about the portrayal, right? Like it's just Jared Leto. Like, you think about Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill could do sinister Joker, and he could do funny Joker. But Mark Hamill's he's a cavalier dude. He has a lot of fun.
Don't bring him up. Don't bring him up.
What? I love Mark. Okay, we have to bring him up. We're talking about the Joker.
I know,
He's
but
awesome.
now I just want to watch the old animated show because he's so good in it. He's so good. You thought I was gonna say something bad there about him, weren't you?
No, I know. I could not imagine a world where you're dissing Mark Hamill about anything other than maybe The Last Jedi. But even then,
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
not the
he
issue
did his
with The
job.
Last Jedi.
He did his job.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a small Mark Hamill rant, did you guys have you guys watched the He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelations show yet?
I still haven't.
Okay,
I watched the trailer again though yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, this looks so cool! I should watch it." But I didn't.
Super simple. First episode. I don't. Again, it's been out long enough. If you haven't watched it, whatever. It's not that big of a spoiler, but He-Man and Skeletor die in the first episode.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And it's so jarring, and I love it because Kevin Smith wrote, he's the one who wrote it, and people weren't happy with that idea. But my biggest thing for that was it's called Masters of the Universe, not Master, not He-Man of the Universe. It's supposed to be a story really about everyone in Eternia, and the best way of doing that is you remove Superman. What happens when you remove Superman? You get a lot more time with all the other characters, or you get a bunch of other Superman, depending which storyline that you read.
That's true.
But yeah, they did that. But Mark Hamill does the voice of Skeletor in that in the first episode, and I'm like, this dude's fucking knocked out of the park. I can't wait to see. Oh wait, he's dead.
Oh, no.
But it's one of those. I guarantee you, he's gonna come back in part 2 of the series, or maybe even I've watched 2 episodes already. I can almost guarantee at the end or near the end he's gonna come back. It's inevitable. You can't have a Masters without Skeletor.
I can imagine though being a He-Man fan, and then they kill off He-Man, and it's just kind of in the new He-Man show being kind of annoying. I can understand that as a viewer, because if we got like a show and it was called like Luke Skywalker and the Galaxy Questers, and then Luke Skywalker died in the first episode, it'd be like, wait, why isn't this just called the Galaxy Questers?
So-
you know, like it's like,
So, but that's why the show is called Masters of the Universe. It's not called He-Man and the Masters
it
of the
isn't?
Universe. No, it's just called Masters of the
Oh, okay.
Universe
I
Revelation.
care less then. But I mean, still though, it's like, you know, rebooting a franchise with the main character, like,
Yeah.
like, I get it. I don't care enough about He-Man for it to impact me, but
Yeah.
you know, that like I get it. I want a new Power Rangers though. This is totally off base. I was just thinking about it. I want like a modern Power Rangers. Why don't we have that yet?
Okay, hold
I
on.
love
What
the
do you
Power-
think of the reboot?
Yeah, didn't you
Not
watch
the movie,
You didn't like the movie?
even though it has my boy Dacker Montgomery on it. No, I liked the movie, but
Okay.
I want a
I thought it
TV
was
show.
good. Yeah, I
the
liked
movie was
it.
good.
And I mean, and technically they are constantly rebooting the Power Rangers every like 2 years or so. There's a new Dino Ninja Mystic Force that's out there. Technically, you're getting your wish, Liv. You're just not watching it, okay,
Oh,
Liberty?
they're not marketing it to me apparently.
Well, no,
Why-
God. So you want
I'm not gonna
what
buy
you
the
want?
toys apparently.
So you want the Titans Netflix show Titans, but with Power Rangers? What you're saying?
No, it's called Rangers though. It's just called Rangers.
Or just Power, something like something super generic.
We need your help, Red. And he's like, I don't go by that name anymore.
Snorts a big line of cocaine off like the Pink Ranger's tit or something,
It's so off base. Like it's just so bad.
and like you still get that line of like "fuck Zordon" and breaks a guy's neck. Yeah. Fuck
Those
it.
are the
But they
Powerpuff
come
Girls
together to
reboot.
take down Zordon. Are you in?
Oh my
And he's like,
God.
no. And then he breaks the dude's neck. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm in.
Just
You son
for-
of a bitch, I'm in.
Just for reference, years ago when Titans first came out, Liv and I talked about that scene a lot. In the
one?
trailer, where it was
fuck,
night,
Batman.
yeah, where the dude's like, "Oh, Batman doesn't do this or whatever," and you just hear Robin, right, or Nightwing go, "Fuck Batman," and like cracks the dude's neck, and both Lib and I were like, "This, like, what the fuck is this? This is not."
Yeah.
What is happening in this show? We were so mad because the acting at that point, everything was so cheesy and shitty. And that line delivery, we're like, this is what are you doing with Nightwing? What is this?
Yeah, and the thing that always pissed me off, and I vocalized it then, I'll vocalize it now, is that the point of Nightwing is that Nightwing's his morality is better than Batman's.
Yeah.
He is more morally sound and a better person than Batman is. But then, you know, that's a weakness in some way for him. But then they just made him edgy and like he's like, I'm better than Batman. And I'm
Yep.
like, that's not dick great. Like again, it's just like I do this with everything. I'm a comic book
Yep.
dude, and when they make something about my character, I compare it to what I think about the character. And if it doesn't match up, I get mad for what reason, you know? Like it's stupid, but it's like I don't know. I compare everything to the way I think it should be done, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm a better movie maker than all of these people actually making movies.
Give me $900 million. I'll show you what I can do, Paramount.
I will see what happens. I'm making the Power Rangers gritty.
Is there? Yeah, so I'm gonna start with you, Ashley. I'm gonna put you on the spotlight. Is there a
Oh,
childhood show? Doesn't matter. It could have been a cartoon or whatever that you would want to see a live action gritty remake of.
Okay, Sailor
wait.
Moon.
Oh,
Ooh,
damn!
Great answer.
You were
Great
ready!
answer.
This is fantastic.
Ooh.
Okay, all right.
I want to see Tuxedo Mask ice some motherfuckers.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This is good. Okay, so do we still keep in the talking cat? Talking cat's still here?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need Luna and Artemis. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What? Fuck, dude. All right, so we're gonna go based off the original first run. All right, that's what I would imagine. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Sailor Moon going to be the one that doesn't kill? She's still like the not holier than thou, but you can kind of get that idea with like the prissiness of that character. And
It's
then
Oh
got
yeah,
the
because Sailor Moon's the big crybaby. So I if she was gonna kill someone, she'd be crying into their corpse. You know,
Yeah.
like. So I
Also-
don't feel like she would be that person to do it.
all right. So Sailor,
Sailor
Mars,
Mars
would
is
be.
gonna be fucking everybody up
Sail-
like that. Sailor
And
Mars
Sailor
is our,
Jupiter,
oh yeah. The thing is-
Jupiter, Mars.
Sailor Moon's getting the crew back together, but they're all gone down these violent paths after they all got revenge stories of losing.
Oh
loved
my
ones.
God,
They
yes!
literally all have it. They're
Dude,
all
yes!
John Wick.
Yes, okay, and then Sailor Moon is like in a sanatorium because she killed the big baddie from like the first run of Sailor Moon.
Mojo Jojo.
No, the lady who like who lives
Yeah,
on the moon or whatever, and she's all evil.
I can't remember her
So
name.
she has like PTSD of having to kill her. So she has a psychotic break and she's put herself away into like a sanatorium or something. And then a new threat arrives where all the Sailor Scouts have to get back together to fight it. And the one piece that they're missing, Sailor Moon. And they have to find a way to get her back into fighting shape. But here's the twist.
Oh.
Here's the twist. All right. Either A, we got two options here. Either A, this is becoming like writing with dice. You got two options here. Either A, she snaps and actually becomes the villain, right? So Sailor Moon becomes Sailor, I don't know, Eclipse or something like the opposite of Moon. I don't want to say Sun because that sounds dumb, but like you'd have like she'd change her name slightly to make her sound more ominous, or they get her back and she tries to fight and she dies in the middle of the battle. And that
Well, okay, I
literally-
got another twist. I got
Oh!
another twister.
All right,
twist.
M. Night,
I
what do you got for me?
twist.
They're on a beach, right? And they get really old.
Do you know why Sailor Moon killed the Moon Girl, the evil Moon Girl,
The moon.
whatever her name is? I forget.
Wasn't she like threatening to? I don't.
Well, okay, this is our version. Though,
Okay.
So I'll give you.
Okay. All right.
She does it because the evil girl killed Tuxedo Mask.
Oh.
Tuxedo Mask is dead.
Oh.
But here's the twist in
shit.
the finale. Tuxedo Mask with a scarred face shows up, and he's alive. And
No.
he's like, "You thought I wouldn't be here for you, babe." And then Tuxedo Mask is back in.
What? It's just that's not the Tuxedo Mask that I would imagine, but I love it. What's up, sugar tits? Let's go.
He's edgy now. He's edgy. This is in the future.
Oh
Come
my
on.
god! And what you don't know
Let's get
about,
going.
what we don't know, that he's been sleeping with like Sailor Mercury or whatever. No, wait, is Sailor Mercury the one who's gay? One of them's
No,
gay.
that's Sailor Neptune and
Okay.
Uranus were
Okay.
together.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I didn't want to mess that up. So then, yes, he's been sleeping with Sailor Mercury for years without letting Sailor Moon know that he was alive. There's your fucking. Yeah. No, that makes
Tuxedo
sense.
Mask is an asshole.
Whoa.
What the hell, bro?
Well, but Sailor Mercury is too, because she's just like, ha ha ha, my friend is all sad, but I'm with her
And
ex-boyfriend.
then Sailor Moon's like, "I don't need you."
Right? And that's the divide. Oh my, that's season 2 right there. It's you're gonna have a divide of like of the people who are gonna be with Sailor Mercury for
When's
some
Mephisto
reason.
show up?
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, I said, when's Mephisto show up?
So Kang enters, right? And he's gonna be the big twist where he's gonna collide. We find out that the Sailor Scouts are actually just Avengers in a different parallel universe.
God. Oh god.
Sailor
I'm
Moon
not
goes,
even gonna lie.
"Hey, Sailor Moon, and then snaps. And she saves the world.
See,
I'm
and
gonna
yeah,
lie,
the
you guys are
Infinity
thinking
Gems. Oh my god, the Infinity Stones were all a part of their crowns. Guys, we got this. We have the
Wait, when
connection.
Thanos is here?
That means Thanos could be whoever. Who fucking cares? It could just be Kang. I don't give a
Thanos-
shit.
The cat is Thanos.
Yeah.
Finally, I've gotten all the pieces, Sailor Moon. I'm inevitable or something. I don't know. He passes all of his lines.
God.
I'm not even gonna lie. You guys were just talking, going deep with the Sailor Moon lore. I was just excited to see the costumes.
Oh yeah.
I have
see,
my
that's a-
priorities straight.
So here's the thing. If we're gonna modernize this, the schoolgirl short skirts are out. Like that's not a thing anymore. It has to be. And like I'm not saying I don't want latex leather like
Sorry,
the fucking
Colin.
Matrix. Like it's not that.
I'm out. I'm not watching.
No, listen, you can't change it that much because you're gonna get the diehards that are like, ew, they're ruining Sailor
Change
Moon.
the color scheme to black and then
But-
keep the outfits.
No, but hear me out though. Hear me out. Hospital gowns, right?
What the
With
fuck?
open flaps.
No.
No,
the
but no.
weirdest producer I've
I
ever
keep
met.
going back to this.
No, but in all honesty, it would be like they'll have the suits like hanging up somewhere, like in like a trophy case. You know what I mean, like an in memoriam, because like they're battle ridden from one of their last big fights. And then ultimately at the end of the series, they ditch their old suits, or their new suits. They grab their old suits because they're now finally united to actually be the core group of the Sailor Scouts again.
Oh,
And they fight off against
they
someone.
fight to Barracuda by heart. Be awesome.
God.
Oh, I want to
Perfect.
watch this show.
That's
When's it coming out?
Cherry bomb. Yeah, you'll get all those like fucking female empowering songs and stuff.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love that
Zombie,
music.
zombie.
Okay, we don't need that one.
Just
I
out
don't
of
know
the
where
blue.
that's gonna fit in.
Oh my god.
I'm just a girl.
Perfect. That's perfect.
This shit is bananas. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
C-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Eddie's song, man, like I'm like a bird, I want to fly away.
Yeah. Oh my god. You're just a skater
you're
boy.
gonna
I said, see you later, boy. Yeah, it's perfect. Like, come on.
Okay,
Oh, man,
well,
yeah.
Shit.
All right. We got one more big thing to talk about, and after that, we can call it. Obviously, well, I'll reference this very briefly because, like, Colin did bring this up in, like last week or whatever it was. Yeah, it was last week for the podcast. David Ayer wrote like an open letter on Twitter, talking about his experiences in life and how he stands behind not his version, not the version of the Suicide Squad that came out, but the version that he created. Which in the letter, it's a very lengthy letter. Once again, I will post this in the link dump and I'll put this in chat for everyone to read and enjoy. Talks about how his version did not have the campy, poppy songs that we heard and the flashy cuts and the coloration that we saw. His version was something where this is where, again, I don't know if his version would have been good or not, but it's interesting to see what he wrote, where he talks about how it was a bit more real and gritty and the characters mattered, and there were scenes that were completely removed, or there were scenes that were completely added in that did not fit his narrative. And he doesn't vouch to want to have an actual, like in the letter, he doesn't say like, I want to do an Ayer cut. He just talks about it and it's like, this is my piece and this is the end of it. This is the end I'm going to talk about it. And then in the interview that James Gunn had with the Hollywood Reporter, he references David Ayer and he talks about how like David Ayer was actually one of his biggest supporters for making the Suicide Squad, how he was behind this idea of James Gunn to take over it. And I guess from what I was reading, loves everything that he was doing at the time. And David Ayer was supporting James Gunn before James Gunn even had a chance to be like, everyone, chill the fuck out with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. It's not like he had no control over it, pretty much, unfortunately. And it was a bunch of different Warner Brothers execs at the time that was running the show. So it made life a lot harder for him to do what he wanted. Unlike the new execs that Gunn had, which apparently gave him like a carte blanche where he could do whatever he wanted with those characters. But
because DC doesn't care, and they don't care about their universe anymore.
Those Warner Brothers execs technically didn't care about the material or the director. They just had a vision, and their vision was, oh, we're gonna make, which is kind of funny, we're gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy with the Suicide Squad. But you have a few missing elements in that for the Ayer cut to have that, right? Obviously, you don't have James Gunn. You don't have his writing or his direction. You have a person in David Ayer who is, if you looked at all of his other work, like, or some of the stuff he's written, like he wrote Training Day. He's the one who wrote that, the Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. Thank you, Ethan Hawke film.
Good ass movie.
Oh, an amazing film, right? Which had a lot of more seriousness and undertones to it. You have this film Fury, another very serious, very gritty film. So then when you see the Suicide Squad and you see his name attached to it, it's like, well, oh, this is going to be like a more gritty, serious tone again. Well, maybe not as gritty as like, we'll say Batman v Superman, like a seriousness as serious as that, but still like an action-packed, serious film. But then you see that trailer and how fucking animated it was and how crazy it was and how there's the Joker and da-da-da-da-da. Makes you think that what would be so different with the Ayer cut? And I ask you guys this, especially to you, Liberty, because you were a big proponent
as a very vocal Suicide Squad hater.
Yeah. If he were to release the Ayer cut, if they actually did it and he got to do what he like Zack Snyder did, would you actually give the Ayer cut a chance, knowing his
I
other
would.
works?
I would absolutely. David Ayer for me is the most hit or miss director in the world for me. Some people might say like M. Night Shyamalan, or some people might like it's David Ayer for me because I watched Training Day and he wrote Training Day, loved it. Fury, absolutely loved it. Um Halfway through Bright, I turned it off because it was awful. Suicide Squad, absolutely hated. Like he's such a like spectrum for me of like good ass movie and then just fucking terrible that like I I really think that he I think he has the power to make very good films, and it's just that sometimes his ideas, and for me for Bright, all it was the concept. It was that I was not sold on the concept. I also thought that it was very heavy-handed with what the orcs were supposed to be, and it came off as more racist than it did progressive, which was an issue
It
for
was
me.
massively tone deaf. It was
Yeah.
seriously tone
It was
deaf, and
so bad.
It was so tone deaf. And you know what? Do you know what the key piece is? I think that when Will Smith is in the movie, it impacts David Ayer's performance because those seem to be two big correlations for his two worst movies, in my opinion.
So remove Will
Um,
Smith, and there's a chance for him.
But at the same time, Will Smith was the best part of either of those movies. So like, I, I'll give it a chance, man. In hindsight, was Suicide Squad as terrible as I remember it? Probably not.
No, it
I
was. It
think
was.
it was okay. Maybe it was, but
Yeah.
for me, it was the complete butchering of some of my favorite characters. And then on top of that, it was how many people were vocally supporting the movie that kind of pissed me off for some reason. I don't know why. Some people are like, "No, this movie." It's because it wasn't people saying like, "Oh, I get it. It's not the greatest, but I like it." It was people saying like, "No, you're wrong. This movie's good." And then that was annoying me. I was like, "No." So, I mean, sure, I'd give it a shot. Like I don't necessarily think it'd be good. I don't necessarily think it'd be bad, but it's just it's interesting because you look at the source material of the Justice League and you think there's no way you can make this better, but then Snyder's cut is better. It's just
Mhm.
it's just better film. So it's like I guess I think now that it's possible it could. It's just for me, one of the biggest issues in that movie is that you have the Suicide Squad trying to save the world, which is not what the Suicide Squad is supposed to do. The Suicide Squad is supposed to do undercover shit that's kind of, basically illegal.
Mhm.
And even with James Gunn's, I think it'll be handled better because James Gunn he's got a lot of fun actors. He's gotten a ton of leadway, so he's just got to make his movie. But they're doing kind of the same thing. They're fighting Starro, who's like a big kaiju who stomps the world. Like they
So
never like the best Suicide Squad thing you can watch is go watch the animated movie Attack
yeah,
on Arkham. And
yeah.
it's basically the Suicide Squad is going into Arkham during a riot to fucking kill the Joker. That's what the Suicide Squad would do. Like,
Yeah.
it
And it
also
just
has
so happens
Batman
to
in
have
it, and
yeah.
Batman's cool as shit.
But
Yeah,
like
like
he's in it, but not the main focus, right? It's all about the Suicide Squad. Here's my thing from what
mhm.
I've gathered, by the way, with the trailers. Again, haven't seen the film. I think Starro isn't the main mission for the Suicide Squad. From what I
Really
gathered,
think it.
I think they were trying to get Peter Capaldi. They're on a retrieval mission for Peter Capaldi, and I think he does something or something happens with him that causes Starro to. And I can't wait to find out if I'm right or wrong. Like I'm so
Yeah,
excited. Like to say that again. This is not not an attack on all the DCEU films out there right now, but this is the first DCEU film that I'm actually really excited to watch. I still haven't seen all of the Snyder Cut yet. It's 4 hours long, and
yeah, it's a lot.
I don't like. I want to watch it. I just don't have the time. It's
Bro, I
so
was
hard.
excited for Batman v Superman, so I
And like
I've been let down one too many times.
like I like Man of Steel. I think that Man of Steel was a good film. I still stand by that. I think
I think
Batman v Superman's okay. The Snyder Cut made it a bit better again, but it's still he almost made it 3 hours long. Which is always hard to watch. It's always a
Batman
hard
v
watch.
Superman was too boring for me. That was the issue with the film is I was bored.
There's a lot of
And then like
political
I
stuff in
could
there.
I could talk a long time about Batman v Superman. Long story short, I think it has really really awesome parts of it. that are then ruined immediately by fucking weird, bizarre, not
Yeah.
great parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's great.
that's what it is. Because I'm like, I didn't
Um,
mind that movie.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Wonder Woman, I enjoyed until the end. I think the CGI monster fight, like big boss fight at the end of Wonder Woman, is, it's
The
overdone.
CGI big monster fight. Like it's
Yeah, it's a staple in like hero films now, right?
some do it good, most
Yes,
struggle.
exactly right. What's the other one? Aquaman was okay. Like, I like Patrick Wilson. I like Jason Momoa.
Oh, dude,
Jason
Aquaman
Momoa
was
just looked,
hilarious, man.
like Jason Momoa just looked like he had a good time doing the film. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, you know what? You're smiling, I'm smiling. Let's go, Jason Momoa. He's actually a good actor too. The man can act. Which you don't really get a lot of that when you first see him in Justice League. Like he's like, oh, I'm a party dude. Let's go. But like he has heart, he has character, he has depth, a bit more depth than Aquaman. And if you see any of his other work, it's there as well. Like he's really good at it. I haven't heard good things about Wonder Woman 1988. I have not heard anything good about that film, unfortunately, except for Pedro Pascal. Apparently, he's
I've heard mixed things about it.
Okay,
I
that's
even
good.
heard
I
that
haven't
Pedro
watched it either.
Pascal I think that Pedro Pascal's not even great in that movie. Everyone just loves Pedro Pascal, so he gets the pass. That's honestly what I think. Like that's what I
Fair.
think it is. Because I love Pedro Pascal. I'll give
Yeah.
him the pass. I don't care. But
I remember when the
No,
trailer
I-
first came out, and I saw that. I
Mhm.
saw Pedro Pascal. I'm like, is that Nathan Fillion? I had to stop for a second. I'm like,
yeah,
wait.
when he's got no mustache,
Yeah.
you're like,
And I'm like,
who is that man?
Nathan, is that you? No. Oh, it's Pedro Pascal. Oh, moral of difference. That mustache makes
Just
a
because
world
you
of
brought
difference.
up, just because you brought up Nathan Fillion, have you heard of the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion?
No.
The hell did you just say to me?
Okay.
What'd you call me?
There's a campaign going on right now. They're trying to build a pavilion in the city of Edmonton, where Nathan Fillion is from,
Okay.
and it's going to be called the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion. And it has actually gotten responses from the city of Edmonton, from one of the mayoral candidates of the Edmonton mayor race, and Nathan Fillion quote tweeted it saying, "Only if you paint a vermilion." I just felt that was funny. I thought I would bring that up.
Civilian Pavilion.
That is amazing.
That's pretty funny.
Only in Canada. Only in Canada. Or I guess Detroit for Rocky. Not Rocky. No, that's Philadelphia. Robocop for Detroit. Which,
Yes.
by the way,
There's a RoboCop pavilion in Detroit.
there's a RoboCop statue in Detroit. If I'm not mistaken, right?
RoboCop was
Actually,
not
you are.
nice to Detroit.
You're currently there. Your favorite state of all time.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, but
have you seen it?
I have not. This is actually the first I've heard about this. Which is funny
What?
because you'd think that like my boss, when I constantly, because I'm from Chicago,
Yeah.
so I can name all the things about Chicago. Like I like going downtown and be like, this is where they filmed this scene in The Dark Knight, and this is where they filmed this in The Dark Knight. But you think my boss or something would have been like, oh, this is downtown. You could go look at it. No, they don't tell me anything at this stupid state.
Okay, so
Now I'm gonna have to go find it. I'm gonna have to, and I have to go downtown. Ew.
okay,
now I have
hold
to
on.
go find
do it.
RoboCop.
Hold on.
God damn
Hold
it.
on. I'm trying to. You might not have to. I have the link here that I'll post it in the link dump, and I'll throw it out to everyone in chat. This thing's fucking big. From what I've seen.
How have I not? even
Have you
heard
not
of-
seen this? Hold on. Again, I don't know how old
Oh,
this
is
article.
it?
Jesus.
Detroit's giant Robocop statue is real, and it's spectacular at 11 feet and 2.5 tons. All right. This is an article that's from M Live. It was. Don't know who that's from.
Yeah,
This is
M
posted.
Live is.
M
I was gonna
Live.
say M Live. That's a reliable source
Okay.
for stupid Michigan crap.
All right, there you go. And this was updated February 26th. Detroit's
year.
long-awaited Robocop statue, which has been 11 years in the making, is finally just about complete, minus a few finishing touches. It's ready to serve and protect, but does not yet have a permanent spot to patrol the city. Okay, so I think they're trying to
so
find.
it's not actually there yet.
No,
Oh.
I guess not. But if you look at these fucking photos, wow, man, like I would be
It's
proud
insane.
as a Detroitonian or whatever the fuck you guys call yourselves. What do you call yourselves? Being from Detroit,
People
Ashley?
from Detroit. There's no name for people from Detroit.
but you're from Detroit.
uh,
You should know.
I'm
Ashley?
not from
He's from
Detroit.
Chi-Town, baby.
I'm from Chicago.
Nah,
that
but
right.
but you're living in Detroit, so you're.
I'm temporarily displaced here. Okay.
Oh, man.
See, it
No,
confuses.
they
Sorry. No,
no,
sorry.
I
Go
was gonna
on.
say, so what people say is like there's multiple names. And I learned this because I went to my undergrad in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and those people are known as Yoopers. Now, people downstate are called trolls because they live under the bridge of the Mackinac Bridge. So we'll joke around. They don't like being called that. So, but overall, the name that for here is it's Michiganders. That's what they're called.
Michigan.
Michiganders.
That's not great.
I was
No,
about to
it's
say,
not.
because your fiance, Colin, is from Michigan, right?
Yep. She's from Michigan. Yeah.
What part of Michigan is she from? Is she from Detroit?
Yeah. She's from one of the kind of suburbs on the outskirts of Detroit.
And she's never
So,
mentioned has she ever mentioned any of these like kitschy names and stuff?
I have heard of Yoopers and trolls before. I have. It's a thing. It's a legit thing.
That is insane. Fucking, I love people. People are so fucked up. Y'all are the best. All right.
Even the ones from Michigan.
Yeah. Okay. Two more things, I guess. Fuck it, because we're having a good time. Colin had found this Twitter, a tweet that got posted a couple of days ago, of the Foo Fighters trolling the Westboro Baptist Church.
My favorite feud.
Yeah.
Love it.
For people who don't know, the Westboro Baptist Church is just a bunch of piece of shits who will. I mean, straight up, they're just a bunch of piece of shits. They're not a real fucking church. They're a bunch of hate mongering assholes who will go to like military men who's passed away, in active duty or whatever, and will go and insult them, especially if they're gay or transgender or bisexual, anything like that. If you're not white and straight, you are anti-life or whatever. Like they're fucking garbage. I can't even insult garbage like that. They are something that should just not be. Anyways,
they like camp like Planned Parenthoods and shit too. They're like
fucking garbage. They're garbage. They're fucking garbage. And I guess they decided to try to pick a fight with the Foo Fighters, and this has been an ongoing thing with them. And in retaliation, okay, Paul, please go ahead, say it.
Okay, so a little bit of backstory. 10 years ago, the Foo Fighters did a tour video where basically it was just like to announce a tour, and it was a funny little skit where they play a bunch of gay truckers, and they're in the showers together, and they're dancing. It's just a big funny joke video. And the Westboro Baptist Church didn't think it was too funny because they started protesting their shows. And the Foo Fighters got onto a trailer, and they had a whole bunch of speakers on the trailer, and they started playing the song that was playing in the background of that video, like doing like a counter protest against the Westboro Baptist Church, and they were like dressed up like the gay truckers, and it was just a big hilarious fucking thing. And I think they donated a whole shitload of the proceeds from the concerts that were protested to LGBT charities and stuff like that.
Good on them.
And then flash forward to today, Westboro was still protesting Foo Fighters shows, and the Foo Fighters just came out with an album where they do a whole bunch of disco covers. And they call themselves the DGs, and they dress up in all this disco shit. And of course, yet again, they get themselves on the back of a trailer and a whole bunch of speakers and shit, and they drive by the counter protest and singing there like, I think it's "You Should Be Dancing."
Yeah.
So there's just all these Westboro Baptist churches and Dave Grohl up the side like, "You should be dancing." Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's
just
so
the
good.
funniest fucking thing.
Yeah, and like the whole time, it's like, why do you hate me? I don't hate you. I love you. We should all be together. Don't worry. Like, just positive energy, just spewing it out left and right while they're just holding their fucking human life signs and shit. I'm like, fucking A, Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters. You guys are fucking class act. I love it. And one last thing. This is the last thing that I'm gonna bring up very quickly. I posted this for us in the podcast, our podcast link dump. And it's just a question. This video that I'm about, again, putting the link dump, even though it's supposed to be in spinning tracks, I don't really care. That's our Discord. I'll do what I want, and I'll put it inside of the chat box. It's heard by Johnny Cash. Now, for those who know, I am I am a big fan of Johnny Cash. I've always loved his work. Folsom Prison
Love
Blues, all
Johnny
that
Cash.
jazz. It's like he's like the only country that I will listen to, and it's because he has his own category of country. Like he's a unique man for that. But
Well,
specifically,
he sings about being in the shit because that man's been in the shit. Like
Exactly right.
Johnny, he is that dude in his songs that he sings, and I
Yeah.
love that about Johnny Cash.
And for Hurt, I think recently, for things that have happened with me and stuff, watching that video hit me in a way because I haven't seen the video in like 11 years. Like it's been a long fucking time since I've seen the video. And when you watch the video with the song, it is a cover from Nine Inch Nails, right? The Trent Reznor's "Hurt." And no offense to Trent Reznor, it's a good song, right? But
He does it better.
yes, Johnny Cash just you hear it in his voice, you hear it in the music. It's just he's feeling it, and you feel it as well. But when you watch it with the music video, where he talks like as he's talking, there's like literal clips from some of his like acting career, the stuff that visiting his old home when it's abandoned, like his old childhood home, the wife that he lost. Like he's not hiding anything when he was arrested. It's all in this video, and it's all these like classic moments of his life. Some that are good in a way, some that are terrible because of things that he's gotten through and that he put his family through. And he's sitting at this large table with food and everything, and he like it goes with the line like he sits like I sit on my throne of dirt beneath my liar's chair. Like the man is like 100 years old. I swear to God, at this point, like he was an older gentleman when he made the song, and like when he grabs the wine and like he's shaking and he's pouring it on the table, it broke me. Like
It hurts.
I again with the stuff that's happened with me recently, it literally like brought tears to my eyes, and like I was actually tearing. I'm like, this is such a powerful song with the perfect video to go with it to explain everything that's happened to this man. And I just want to I just want to know for you guys, have you ever had a music video or song? I'll be general with song because sometimes videos are very like blasé nowadays. But has there ever been something like that, either a video or a song that has hit you that hard, where it's like,
Yeah.
it gets you right
Yeah.
in the
Real
feels?
quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, this I hate that I have to bring this up, but I have to. I recently watched that video and listened to that song. And the reason I did was because I was playing D&D with my friends, and our DM was massacring us, and we were all dying and almost dead, and my friend just put on that music video while we were all like inches away from death as our D&D characters,
Oh my
and I felt
God.
so awful. We ended up coming back and winning, but like I literally got teleported on and stabbed through the chest, and my guy was just standing on the ground bleeding out while Johnny Cash was singing over him, and I have never felt more genuinely sad like in the recent
Oh,
times.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, that music video hits really hard. I don't know if I've ever had a music video specifically that's ever hit me like that though.
Colin?
I've had one. It's a song called Little Motel by Modest Mouse. I'm not gonna spoil the video or anything like that, but it is straight up just the song is like kind of calm, is kind of sad, but more like calming. And the music video, what it does is it starts with a situation and then it's moving backwards. So you're seeing like people walk backwards
Okay.
and like driving backwards and stuff like that. And it slowly starts to reveal why they were in the place they were in at the start. And it's just the most fucking heartbreaking video I've ever
Oh.
watched in my life, and it
Yeah.
got me really in my feels. And also honorable mention to pretty much every single sad Death Cab for Cutie song, because that shit hits me in my feels every time.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't have the music video because I haven't watched music videos in all of forever. But I have two songs that I can say like hit me
Okay.
like when I was listening to it. The one, and anyone who knows me, no surprise at all, is a My Chemical Romance song. Okay.
What?
Light
I don't.
Behind
I'm
Your
sorry. What?
Eyes.
What's that? What's that
Don't look
behind?
at the light behind your eyes, which a lot of people don't know unless they were like really into My Chemical Romance, because it was one of these B-sides they released from a scrapped album before Danger Days came out. They had ended up releasing all the songs they scrapped from that album, and that was one of the songs. And like that song hurts. The other one, recent, and like anyone can laugh, but like it's Machine Gun Kelly, and it's his last song on his latest album, and it's Play This When I'm Gone. And he wrote it for his daughter, I believe. And that song, when that song, like I'm listening to this album, I'm like, okay, this is a great album. And then you get to that last song, and I went, ow, okay, ow, my everything hurts all of a
Why,
sudden. And I was like, well,
NGK?
that
Why?
wasn't fair.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
Okay. I was just say I figured out the last song that really hit me. And it was Swimming by Mac Miller, and it was released after he had passed. And that song's basically about him drowning in his own sorrow, and he basically died from like overdose. And I'd listen to that shit, and I just started crying. I'm like, I don't even know why. Like, I know why I'm sad. I love Mac Miller, and it was really sad when he passed. But that song's so fucking good. And like all of his last album is just so. Was the album called Swimming? I gotta look this up right now, but that one
remember.
specifically, that was less about. I think it's the same thing with like the Johnny Cash thing though. It was more about the person than. So yeah, Swimming was the album, but Self Care, that's the fucking song. Self Care. He has a song called Self Care about taking care of yourself, and it was released after he had passed from like just struggling with mental health and stuff like that. So it's that hits so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lot of times rather about your situation or like how your situation and the person who made the song, they're tied to the music. Like it's for me, like even another song, it doesn't really get me in my feels, but it just gets me emotional. So I guess in my feels then, if that's what it means. Purple Rain by Prince, man. That song is beautiful. I fucking love Purple Rain. That song makes me want to cry, and I don't even have anything to cry about, but I just listen to Purple Rain, and I'm like, I gotta feel something right now. I just love music. Music is such a way with fucking emotions. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think that's a good way to end it. We got a little bit serious, a little mushy, bitchy stuff there. I am going to talk to the audience directly, but I'm gonna say goodbye to, or I'm gonna have to ask you guys to disconnect. It's weird. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to disconnect, and then I'm gonna have to fix a couple things up on my part. I'm gonna talk to the audience, but before I do that, is there anything you guys want to say to anyone? Or are you guys good for now?
Does it matter if I drastically change the tone at all?
You can go ahead. That's fine.
I'm going pro in Fortnite. I got 2 wins last night in Fortnite, and I just wanted everybody to know that.
Where's my disconnect?
Just force him out.
All right. Well, thanks guys for joining me. Thank you so much. I'm gonna talk to the schmucks here for a quick second to explain some of the stuff that's happened while I was gone. So thank you guys.
All right. Are we coming back for a post show?
No post show today. We are post showless because we with the technical difficulties and stuff, we have run a bit later than we normally do.
Fair. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, bye
Bye everybody. Thanks for
Good luck.
joining us.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.